Key 1. Stoic in a world that constantly tests our limits. What would a Stoic do when life throws the toughest challenges your way? Imagine your boss publicly criticizes your work, your partner goes silent, or your investments lose half their value overnight. What's your response? And more importantly, how would a Stoic respond? Let's dive into a 5-step framework we call the Stoic Decision Framework, designed to help you navigate life's hardest moments with resilience and clarity. Drawing inspiration from Marcus Aurelius and other great Stoic philosophers, this approach provides a solid foundation for facing adversity and rising above it. Let's start with a personal story that might sound familiar, though it's a fictionalized version of my own experience. Imagine this. You get a call from your doctor with life-altering news. The shoes you've worn comfortably for years suddenly don't fit. Your ankles are swollen, and deep indentations remain where your socks have been. At first, it seems like nothing serious, just a minor inconvenience. But then it doesn't go away. In fact, it worsens. Eventually, you realize your health is compromised, and the doctor confirms that your kidneys are functioning at less than half capacity. Chronic kidney disease. It's a diagnosis that could get better or could deteriorate, possibly leading to dialysis or even transplant. You're told it could take years or decades before the worst happens. It's a moment that divides your life, before and after. Now, in that moment of despair, the natural response is panic. You Google every worst-case scenario, abandon all rational thought, and dive into emotional chaos. You wonder why this happened to you, and the fear clouds your judgment. Sound familiar? It's what we all do in moments of crisis. But here's where the Stoic mindset comes in. After that initial flood of emotions, you must step back, breathe, and regain control. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius helped me ground myself. He writes, "Don't look at illness as misfortune. Accept it as one more task given by nature." This reframing of the situation was pivotal. Instead of seeing the diagnosis as a sentence of doom, I began to see it as a challenge, something to face with reason, dignity, and control. I took a moment to clear my mind, read the actual facts, and stop the cycle of catastrophizing. I focused on what was in my control, my lifestyle, my diet, my physical activity. The medication prescribed worked wonders. Over time, my body stabilized. The swelling subsided, and I began to feel better. I still live with the knowledge that my health could decline, but the Stoic approach empowered me to handle it with poise. Now, let's break down the Stoic decision framework that helped me through this experience. Name the challenge. Don't just call it terrible or scary. Get specific. Naming your challenge with precise language helps you understand it and regain control over your emotions. For instance, instead of saying, "I'm sick," say, "I have chronic kidney disease," which means my kidneys are functioning below optimal levels. This distinction allows you to address the problem clearly. Find what you can control. You can't control everything, but you can always control your response. In this case, I couldn't control the disease itself, but I could control my actions, my diet, my exercise, my attitude toward treatment. Accept reality. This is where the Stoics shine. Life is unpredictable. Things don't always go according to plan. Accepting this reality frees you from resentment and frustration. It's about facing the truth and moving forward, not getting stuck in what should have been. Define your duty. What are you meant to do now? What's your responsibility in this situation? It's about finding your purpose even when faced with a crisis. For me, my duty was to stay proactive about my health and seek out the best possible treatment options. Act with courage. Finally, you must act. It's not enough to understand the problem. You need to take action. This is where courage comes in. Doing the right thing, even when it's hard, is essential to living a Stoic life. In a world that's constantly changing, this framework provides a powerful way to take on life's challenges. Whether it's a health crisis, a work issue, or personal struggles, Stoicism offers a roadmap for keeping your mind clear and your actions intentional. Life will keep testing you, but with a Stoic mindset, You can meet every obstacle with strength and purpose. Key 1. Stoic instead of allowing a situation to overwhelm you emotionally. The Stoic approach encourages a clear and calm identification of the challenge you're facing. For example, if you find yourself needing money for an unexpected repair, instead of spiraling into feelings of failure or thinking, "Everyone hates me," name the challenge for what it truly is. I need to come up with money for a repair. By pinpointing the exact issue, you stop letting emotions control you. Instead, you engage your rational mind to face the challenge head-on. This naming process does more than bring clarity. It also defines the scope of the challenge. By framing it precisely, you create boundaries for the issue, making it something your mind can handle rather than an overwhelming, abstract crisis. You're no longer consumed by the idea of an infinite problem. For example, if you weren't invited to a lunch, don't catastrophize by thinking, "I'm a failure." Simply recognize the situation for what it is. I wasn't invited to lunch. This mental step gives you the distance needed to objectively analyze the challenge, opening the door for effective solutions. The next crucial Stoic step is identifying what you can control. Stoicism teaches us to understand that some things are in our power, while others are not. The great philosopher Epictetus famously said, "Some things are up to us, and others are not." When you face any situation, draw 2 circles in your mind, one for what you can control and the other for what you cannot. In your inner circle, place your thoughts, decisions, actions, and responses. In the outer circle, place everything outside your direct influence. Other people's opinions, external events, and uncontrollable natural forces. For instance, in a job interview, you can't control whether you get the job, but you can control your preparation, punctuality, and how professionally you present yourself. In relationships, you can't dictate how your partner will react, but you can control your words, your tone, and how you handle the situation. When you break a problem into elements you can control, even in situations that seem hopeless, you'll discover there are opportunities to act and influence the outcome. In life's difficulties, whether financial struggles, health issues, or personal setbacks, while you may not control external forces, like market movements or illness, you can control your response. How you spend, how you treat your body, your attitude toward recovery, or the choices you make regarding your lifestyle. The key is to strike a balance. Avoid the extremes of learned helplessness, "Nothing is in my control," and overconfidence, "Everything is in my control." Be realistic about where you have genuine influence and take responsibility for those areas where you can make a difference. Next, the Stoics encourage us to accept reality. They didn't sugarcoat the world. They understood that accepting reality is an emotional and intellectual process that requires us to face hard truths. As Epictetus pointed out, it's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Accepting reality is about acknowledging the situation without denial or avoidance and coming to terms with the facts. If you've lost your job, accept that it's gone. If a relationship ends, accept it's over. This doesn't mean you like what happened, but it means you're choosing to face reality rather than waste energy resisting it. This process might take time, and that's okay. Give yourself space to adjust. Talk to friends, seek perspectives from mentors, or rest physically. Stress and exhaustion can cloud judgment, so taking care of your body is just as important as working through the mind. Remember, mental clarity often follows physical well-being. In essence, acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It means embracing what's real so you can make empowered decisions moving forward. After acceptance, determine your duty. The Stoics believed that living virtuously was our highest calling. This doesn't mean an abstract virtue, but real, actionable virtue. It means looking at the roles you play in life, parent, friend, leader, employee, and asking, what does virtue require of me today? It might mean having a difficult conversation, admitting a mistake, or pushing forward when you want to quit. Consider Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor. His writings show a constant reflection on his duties as both a philosopher and a ruler. He didn't see his roles as a burden, but as responsibilities he was committed to upholding. In your own life, by defining your duties, you gain direction. You may not control external chaos, but your responsibility remains clear. Knowing what you must do, regardless of what others expect or the external circumstances, gives you a path forward. Finally, act with courage. All the steps, the precise naming of the challenge, identifying what you can control, accepting reality, and clarifying your duties, lead to this moment. It's time for action. The Stoics understood that courage is the bridge between contemplation and achievement. You may not have control over everything, but you do have control over your responses and your actions. By acting courageously, even in the face of adversity, you embody the Stoic principle of thriving, not just surviving. You don't wait for the storm to pass. You learn to sail through it with integrity, clarity, and a commitment to your duty. Incorporating these Stoic practices into your daily life transforms challenges into opportunities for growth. Every situation, no matter how daunting, becomes an opportunity to build resilience, clarity, and inner strength. The Stoic way teaches us that life is not about avoiding adversity, but about growing stronger through it, with wisdom, courage, and virtue guiding our every step. Key 1. Stoic philosophy without action is just empty theory. As Seneca wisely pointed out, words should pave the way for deeds. It's not enough to merely talk about principles. We must apply them in real life. To truly act on your goals, start by creating a clear, concrete plan. Break down your tasks into manageable, actionable steps. If you're preparing for a difficult conversation, write down the key points you want to address. If you're facing a career change, map out the stages you need to go through. If you're dealing with health issues, make a detailed treatment plan. Be specific about what needs to be done and in what order. Before you take that first step, brace yourself emotionally. Remember Epictetus' advice to rehearse difficulties in advance. Visualize potential obstacles and plan how you'll respond. This isn't negative thinking. It's practical preparation. Tell yourself, this will be hard. I might face resistance. I may feel uncomfortable, but that's okay. Let Stoic wisdom empower you. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way actually becomes the way. Obstacles are not roadblocks. They are opportunities to strengthen your resolve. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means acting despite it. So, go ahead, take that first step. Make that call, start that conversation, or begin that project. Do it even if you're uncertain, even if your hands are shaking, even if you're not fully confident in the outcome. The Stoics understood that growth happens through action, not contemplation. Courage isn't a feeling, it's a choice. You may not feel brave, but you can choose to act courageously. Each time you choose action over avoidance, you're reinforcing your Stoic practice. You're proving to yourself that you can face difficulty with dignity and purpose. And remember, you don't have to walk this path alone. The Stoics were part of a community, sharing wisdom and supporting each other's growth. Find a like-minded friend or accountability partner to discuss these teachings and check in regularly about how you're applying them to your life. Track your progress with a Stoic journal, just as Marcus Aurelius did. Write about your challenges, how you applied Stoic principles, what worked and what didn't. Over time, you'll start to understand yourself better, fine-tune your approach, and gain valuable insights that work for you. This is about steady progress, not perfection. Setbacks are part of the process. When you fall short of your ideals, when you react emotionally, resist reality, or make mistakes, don't treat it as a failure. Treat it as a learning opportunity. Every setback teaches you something valuable about your patterns and triggers. Reflect on where you could improve and refine your practice. The goal is not perfect application, but gradual, consistent growth towards greater wisdom and resilience, like Marcus Aurelius. Take time each morning to prepare for the day, anticipate challenges, and remind yourself of your Stoic principles. At the end of the day, like Seneca, review your actions. Ask yourself where you succeeded and where you could improve. Test yourself with practical scenarios, just as Epictetus did with his students. Start with small challenges, traffic jams, delayed meetings, or other everyday annoyances. Apply the Stoic framework step by step. Name the challenge, e.g., I'm stuck in traffic and may be late. Identify what you can control, your departure time, your route, your communication. Accept the reality of the situation. The traffic exists, whether you like it or not. Define your duty to remain professional and communicate clearly, and act with courage. Don't complain or make excuses. By practicing with smaller challenges, you'll build the mental resilience needed for larger obstacles. So, share your experiences with others in our community. What challenges are you applying Stoic principles to? What insights have you gained? Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. If you found value in this practical approach to Stoic wisdom, join us in building a community of thoughtful individuals who are committed to living with greater wisdom and purpose. Let's put Stoic philosophy into action and support each other as we navigate life's challenges with courage, clarity, and purpose. As Epictetus said, don't just say you've read books. Show that through them, you've learned to think better. Let's keep applying these principles, growing together, and facing life with wisdom. Until next time, keep thinking clearly and acting wisely.